When the start of the fantasy football playoffs are close, many serious managers have their own strategies for how they believe they'll win. Stashes are always a hot topic, such as guessing which players are league winners or which starting running backs will get injured, making specific handcuff running backs worthwhile. Then you have people who start stashing DSTs based on weeks 15 through 17 schedules. That begs the question, should you start stashing DSTs? Today we'll go through why it's a horrible idea. Hi, Evan with Barely Fantasy here, and this is Don't Stash DSTs During the Playoffs. If you're the type of fantasy football manager who does this strategy, then you're naturally wondering why I'm poo-pooing it. Through the rest of this video, we're going to assume you are playing in a PPR league with at least one flex slot. Your typical redraft leagues have only one DST slot. Compare that to running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends, DSTs hold a lot less value. If you're stashing 2 or 3 DSTs for the playoffs that you plan on playing, you're reducing the flex depth you have on your bench if injuries affect your starters. Even if injuries don't happen, you want to give yourself better flex scoring options based on matchups. This transitions nicely into my next reason why stashing DSTs is a horrible idea: scoring averages. There are not enough DSTs that score more than 10 fantasy points per week. It is also worth noting that this average is often skewed because of 1, 2, or maybe 3 weeks where a team's defense had an insane showing of 20 or more fantasy points thanks to fluid scoring such as a touchdown. Over the last 10 years, there have only been 3 seasons when more than 2 DSTs average more than 10 fantasy points per game: the 2015, 2017, and 2019 seasons. The 2016 and 2020 seasons are 2 examples of which no team's DST reached 10 fantasy points per game. Let's compare this to running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. When you read the data, you'll find the number of players at these positions who average more than 10 fantasy points per week is far more than DSTs. While not every single player will reach 10 fantasy points every single week, you want to improve your odds of holding shares of players who have that capability rather than DSTs. Please don't hear what I'm not saying. This video is not saying that DSTs don't matter. They absolutely do. Ultimately, it's a bad idea to start hoarding them on your bench for your fantasy football playoffs, hoping they will give you an advantage in weeks 15, 16, and 17. Ideally, your bench should be loaded up on players you can potentially flex who matter enough in their respective offenses to score those sweet fantasy points. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more fantasy football content. Keep calm and play on, my friends.